Life is about pushing yourself to try new things. When you do something new, you learn a little bit more about life. Each experience was something brand new to me. Looking back at all the activities, I'm ultimately glad I did them because I'd never done them before and I learned a little bit more about life. Today, I will share with you something I found most interesting about each activity. First, I will talk about a family dinner without any electronics. Next, I will talk about what I learned from my friend who owns a small business. Next, I will talk about what I learned when I sat down to watch the news. After that, I will talk about a documentary called Fed Up. And lastly, I will talk about my first experience at the farmer's market. It is not unusual for my family to sit down and have a meal without any electronics. We may say have some music on in the background, but that's it. And I found that this is actually quite uncommon for most families to sit down without any electronics. Ultimately, they're either staring at their cell phones, texting their friends, or sitting down and watching TV without having any discussion. And that to me is a little bit sad because this is the way I was raised and that's how I plan to raise my children. Next, I interviewed my friend from high school who owns a small business that goes by the name of Charlie's Cheesesteaks. He told me everything I could possibly want to know about what he does from his day-to-day activity to his meetings with the executive when they flew in from Ohio. He said that from day to day, what he does is he trains his new employees. He occasionally works the front and takes orders and cooks and things when he needs to. And he takes in orders from over the phone for large parties and whatnot, or he just makes sure they get in the supplies they need. When the executives came in, he told me that they said that things were going good. He said that they wanted him to remodel the place, remodel the kitchen, remodel the seating area, remodel the bathrooms. And he said to them that that was too expensive for him. It was 50 grand and he really couldn't afford that at the time. Last, I asked him just how much he actually enjoys running a small business. He told me it was really cool and it was one of the most interesting things that he had done in his life. And he hopes to expand and purchase maybe another Charlie's Cheesesteak or broaden out and go buy other things. Next, I sat down to watch the news for what probably was the first time. This was quite the push for myself to do this because the news to me seemed like something that was just talking about politics and murders. But when I sat down to watch it, I learned that it was more than just that. It talked about things like the Arizona State Fair, the weather, all sorts of interesting facts about the local sports teams, and just stuff like that. It was cool to me to sit down and learn about those things and discuss them with my family, that might be something I might try again. Next, I watched the documentary called Fed Up. When I watched this documentary, it was really interesting to me to learn about just how bad these sugars can be to people. It talked about how killer these processed sugars are, and they cause type 2 diabetes and heart problems in kids and adults. During the documentary, it talked about these companies like Oreo and M&M and how they brand these products by putting cartoon characters and actors and actresses on their boxes so that when you buy them and you're eating the product, you can see your favorite actor or actress on the box, because who wouldn't love to see LeBron James eating a bowl of Cheerios while you're eating it at the same time? Then it talked about schools and how the lunches at schools have gotten unhealthier because it's cheaper for these schools. Places like Pizza Hut and McDonald's and Taco Bell and all these fast foods and vending machines with candy and stuff are saving the school money, and it's not good for these kids because it's causing them to have health problems and lose focus and lack of energy when they're doing their studies. Lunches used to be simply a sandwich and an apple or a banana and a glass of milk, but things have progressed to where they're so unhealthy that schools just need to get back to doing it the way they were. Then it talked about how these companies are fighting back, preventing these health organizations from releasing the information about sugar and how bad it is into the world so people have more awareness. They want to do this because ultimately they're trying to fill their pockets and they're being greedy, and they really don't care that much about the health of these people who are becoming obese and having health problems. They want to just fill their pockets, and that's really all they're in for. Next, I went to the farmer's market for the first time in my life. And it was really cool because we got to pick out some fruit and vegetables that came straight off the farm. And we learned a little bit about different things that come straight from the farm than people that maybe make these homemade sauces or chocolates that don't want to sell them off to the stores. They want to use them for like people who want to be healthy. They want to sell them without having any processed stuff in it. We tasted a chocolate made by a guy who said he made it in a healthier fashion than normal chocolate is made in stores. It tasted just as good as the chocolate in the stores, and it definitely was healthier for you. Not that it's probably still the healthiest thing in the world, but it was definitely healthy. And it was interesting to me because I didn't really know that people sell these stuff without having to go through like a Fry's or a Target or something like that. Pushing myself to try these things that are different gave me more confidence to do it in the future. I had fun doing this and learning about all these new things and finding stuff that I'm actually interested in. I want to do this more often so I have more things to talk about with people and I can broaden my horizons and I don't get to a lull point in a conversation because I don't know what I'm talking about.